Rachel. I'm the Keto Vegan. Today's episode is about the difference between fiber and fiber. If you're living in England, it's different. I mean, fiber is fiber, but the counts and the carbs, and I've been getting it wrong all this time. But so that's what this episode is going to be about. Before I jump into that episode, I'm going to let you know what's happening next week. Next episode is going to be me on a school trip in Paris. I've already asked them, do they do vegan protein? And they have said, via my French-speaking colleague, to bring my own food. That's a really good start, isn't it? I will be talking all about that in the next episode once I've returned from Paris. This is the last episode in this room. I'm actually moving out of Cookies next Thursday. I complete contracts tomorrow, which is Friday. Can't move tomorrow because it's really short notice. We only exchanged last week, and my removal people aren't free. So they were free on Monday, but I'm actually in Paris with school, get back late Wednesday night, and I'll be moving on Thursday. It was really exciting. Can't wait. Not that I haven't really enjoyed living here. Thank you, Cookie. And to celebrate me leaving, or just a goodbye Rach thing, me, Cookie, my cousin and his wife, and the other lodger here and his girlfriend, we all went to Chinese last night in East Preston Village. And if you are ever in West Sussex and you are a vegan, I would definitely recommend this Chinese. It's called the Penang Village. I'll put a link underneath. They do not know that I'm saying this or that I have a podcast. And they had vegetarian chicken, vegetarian pork, vegetarian fish. And I did check when I phoned, can it be vegan? And said, it just depends what we cook it with. So I went in and I asked for something that wasn't on the menu, but with the vegetarian chicken, and they did exactly that. And they had some really nice vegetables. It was really good. It was a bit pricey, though. Between the six of us, we had quite a few bottles of wine. That was really nice dry white, but probably put me over my carbs, but as did what I had the chicken cooked in. So I asked for kung po flavor on my chicken. They had like a black bean sauce choice, etc. But I asked because I hadn't been to a Chinese for years. And when I move into my new house, I'm going to get really focused on keto again. Obviously, always vegan. I've just sort of lost the keto focus as much as I should. I am sort of very low carbs, but I'm not in ketosis. In fact, actually, I haven't peed on a wee strip for ages. That will obviously, once I get into my new place, new focus, fresh beginnings. I love that. Let's get into the episode. The episode I've called Fibre Fables. So UK or US, and the labeling for keto vegans or for keto, it's different. Can't believe it. Anyway, let me just tell you very briefly about what fiber is. Fiber is a type of carbohydrate that the body cannot digest, which is really good to help your bowel movements. And it's found in the plants that we eat, such as fruits, vegetables, grains, legumes, and it's an essential for digestion and overall health. And there are two main types of fiber, that's soluble and insoluble fiber. I listened to a book about keto and fiber ages ago on Hay House app, the Empower You app, and started writing down all these different high fiber options. And that's why I started being much more aware of the fiber counts in foods. And on my keto list, vegan keto food list, I have a column for fiber. More about that in a minute. And on my food list, and I've got to change this now, on the food list, if it's got high fiber but quite high carbs, I've actually highlighted the product in pink because it means that the amount of fiber taken away from the amount of carbs means that it's actually really low carbs. But it's not in this country. It is in America, but not in England or Europe for that matter. Anyway, let's get back to the fibers. So there are soluble fibers which dissolve in water to form a gel-like substance, and that can actually help lower blood cholesterol and glucose levels. And some common sources of this type of fiber, the soluble fiber, are oats, can't have those on keto, beans, legumes such as lentils and peas, can't have those, fruits, Can't have those unless you are gonna have your raspberries and blackberries. You can have those. Vegetables, yes, we can have those. Sprouts, broccoli, the dark green leaves, things like that. Really good. Barley, psyllium. So we can have psyllium. I'm not sure about barley, actually. I must check that one out. Then we've got insoluble fiber. And guess what? That probably doesn't dissolve in water, but it adds bulk to the stool. So that's your bowel movement, the bowel stool, not the one you sit on, and helps food pass more quickly through the stomach and intestines. And common sources of insoluble fiber include whole grains. Keto can't have that. Nuts and seeds, yes, we can. Vegetables such as cauliflower, green beans, and potatoes, do not touch a potato. Fruit skins and legumes such as kidney beans and chickpeas. Okay, so a few things there we cannot have if you're on a keto diet. And this is why it's really important on a keto diet to make sure you are having enough fiber in your diet. Otherwise, it can cause terrible constipation. Okay, so why am I doing this episode on fiber or fiber? Fibre or Fiber? Oh, well, at least they're spelt differently, I guess. So we can now know the difference when we're looking at our labels, if it's in or if it's out. So I asked a source of information, ChatGPT, like, what is the difference? I'm on this keto diet, and I thought the fiber count meant that I could actually take it off the carb count, but apparently it's different in the US. And yes, it is. And how did I find this out? I think I was on a Facebook group and somebody mentioned that. And I'm like, no, why did I not know this? Because all the research that I have done on a keto diet and about the fiber counts is obviously coming from America. Well, keto is massive over there. In America, on the counts, on the nutritional information, the total carbohydrates on nutrition labels include fiber, Fiber. Net carbs are calculated by subtracting the fiber, ER, and sometimes sugar alcohols from the total carbs. So basically, the formula is your net carbs equals the total carbs minus the fiber. So then you've got your net carbs. I like that. I wish it was the same over here because there'd be so many amazing things. Okay, in the UK and in Europe, total carbs on nutrition labels exclude fiber. So Fibre, which means the fiber has already been deducted from the carb count you see on the label. Oh, God, what a mare. There's me been saying, so ignore every previous episode where I've said about, oh my goodness, that's really good with the fiber. And obviously I haven't mentioned that in all episodes. I've only been doing a fiber thing for the last couple of months or 3 or 4 months. Okay, so we're on episode 50. I've done 50 episodes and only just discovered this. Oh my God, we've got to learn something every day, haven't we? Okay, so when we read the nutrition labels in the UK, the carb count we see is the actual carb count. We can't deduct the fiber. But do eat foods with lots and lots of fiber in, because that's really important if you want to have pass a stool in the morning or the afternoon or in the evening or whenever you do. For example, if we're looking at the carb count and it's 8 grams of carbs and the fiber count is 5 grams of fiber, it is 8 grams of carbs. The fiber's already been taken away. If that was in America, I'm assuming it would say 30, sorry, can't count, 13 grams of carbs and 5 grams of fiber, and then you can take off the fiber. Oh dear. Anyway, okay, so net carbs for us in the UK, for me in the UK, it is what it says. In America, you've got to do a little bit of subtraction. Anyway, tips then. How do we manage our keto diet in the UK? Basically, always check your labels. We're always saying that as well. Since the labels already exclude fiber, you can use the direct carb level to know exactly how many carbs per 100 grams it is. And do keep track of the fiber intake. Even though you don't need to deduct it, maintain adequate fiber to help you keep really healthy. It's really good for overall health. If you're using a keto recipe, that is a US one rather than a UK one, it's going to be different. So if you're in the US using UK recipe, careful because basically that is net carbs already. You can't take the fiber off, as I have been doing. So be careful when you're doing recipes and it's got all the counts underneath, then do be aware, making sure, because if you want to get into ketosis rather than maintenance, it's really important that your carbs are really low. This is what I'm going to be doing. After I've been to Paris, who knows what that's going to be like? Well, I'm going to take some of my own food and there will be a microwave and a fridge where I can keep it. So at least I'll have one meal a day. Mind you, I'm sure when we go to the restaurants, they must do a Beyond Burger. I love a Beyond Burger, and they're not paying me to say that either. And there's some other really good redefined. That's really good as well. They're not paying me either. Basically, make sure you understand the differences. UK is FIBRE and America is FIBER. How handy though that they're different spellings, because then at least we know what label we're looking at. I've already said why fiber is so important in keto because especially for vegans, it can prevent constipation, and constipation is a really common issue on a low carb diet. There are some really good sources of fiber in a keto vegan diet, such as avocados, chia seeds, flax seeds, leafy greens, nuts, and seeds. Really good. Make sure that when you are eating each day, you're having something from that. If you're concerned about avocados being vegan, I've got an episode. I will put the link underneath. I can't remember what it was. It's about 4 episodes ago, so maybe about 46. Chuck, chia seeds, your flax seeds. If you're doing a chili, chuck some of that in there. Put some seeds in there, chia seeds, whatever. If you're doing casseroles that you then chuck in the microwave because you're doing big batch cooks, then put some of these seeds in them. If you are doing fresh with a salad, put some avocado and put seeds on the top. I love that. It means you can carry on eating the seeds for ages because they get stuck in your teeth. So the meal goes on for much longer. Make sure you are adding a lot of these low carb fibers into your diet. And this is what I'm really going to be focusing on once I'm back from Paris and in my own place again. So reading labels effectively is another really important thing. Make sure you just check that spelling. If you're in the UK, if it's a UK label, the spelling is FIBRE, and then you know that the carb count is actual total carbs. The fiber's already been removed. If you're reading an American label, it's FIBER, and the carb count isn't end carbs. You can then take off the fiber. A couple more things I think might be helpful. I don't actually use these yet, but when I'm going to get right back into it, I think I am going to download an app that actually does the carb counts and helps do the carb counts for you. I know there's quite a lot of people that do the carb trackers, and there's lots of apps out there. What do you use? Is there one that you'd recommend? Can you leave me a comment? If you're watching it on YouTube, can you just put a comment underneath? I'd really appreciate that. Or send me an email, which again is links are underneath in the show notes. And the final one that I'm going to say, final tip perhaps today around about fiber, is basically make sure you're only counting it once, and portion sizes too. Know what the recommended intake is for you. Are you male? Are you female? How much weight do you want to lose? Do you want to maintain? So do some research online. Dietdoctor.com, again, is really good. They are not vegan, but they are really experts around keto. Are there any other websites that you know that are keto experts and you could recommend? Please also, again, leave me a comment underneath. I'd really appreciate that. I need all the help I can get. This is why I'm doing this, just to keep on top of things and to hopefully help you as well. So let's just recap. Fiber. Crying out loud. Who knew? Lots of you did. I didn't. I've just learnt the difference. America, you take off the fiber. England, you don't. Look at the backs of your packaging. Read the packaging labels really well. High fiber is really important in your diet if you're keto vegan. And where can you get the sources of that from? Your red berries, like your raspberries, blackberries. I wouldn't recommend any other berries if you're getting into ketosis. Maybe once you're there, then perhaps you could, but that might kick you out. So do be careful with that. Using psyllium seeds and chia seeds. What else? Leafy greens, sprouts, cabbage, dark Savoy cabbage maybe as well. But again, careful with the carb count on that one. Spinach is really good. Sprouts are really good. Chia seeds, flax seeds, nuts as well. Those are good, but again, careful with your nut intake. Almonds are the lowest carb, or is it the macadamia? I can't remember, but again, check, have a look at my food list. Make sure you're reading labels effectively, knowing the spelling makes a difference to what it means. Anyway, I hope you found that helpful. That's all I'm going to say for today. Don't forget next week, well done for getting this far. Next week, it's going to be, or next episode, it's going to be my experience on a school trip in France, staying at a budget hotel with how many children? 36 year 8 children. So these are 13-year-olds, 12 to 13. Yeah, 12 to 13-year-olds in Paris. There's 4 teachers going. I'm the first aider, which is why I'm going, but also I'm really going because we're going to the Parc d'Astrix, which is a theme park. I can't wait, love it. Okay, anyway, so stop rambling, Rach. Next week is on that, and I am going to put a link to the Penang Village Chinese in the tiny little village of East Preston down in West Sussex, down the south coast of England. Really good food. We were the only ones in there, 6 of us, but it was really good. Lots of people use it for takeaways. Stop rambling, Rach. I'm done. I'll see you next time.